In the previous episode, Inugami shoots Kabane in the head. Inugami shows Kabane's body to Mrs. Kusaka and tells her that he will dispose of the body. Kabane later wakes up in Inugami's car, and Inugami tells him that he is a ghoul and can't die. Inugami takes Kabane to his counseling office and gives him some clothes. While Kabane changes his clothes, two other boys come in and wonder who he is. Now Inugami introduces Kabane to the two other children who work at the office, Akira and Shiki. He then asks Kabane if he would like to work there and tells him he doesn't need to answer right away. Akira then asks if Kabane is also a Kemono since he smells a little unusual. Inugami reveals that Kabane is an immortal demon and human Hanyo, which makes him similar to Shiki. Shiki then notices that the clothes Kabane is wearing are his. Kabane proceeds to remove his clothes, but Shiki declines and tells him he doesn't want them anymore. Shiki then asks Kabane his age. Kabane reveals that he is around 13, and Shiki tells him that he is 14, realizes that he is 1 year older and acted superior before going to the bathroom. Shiki also tells Inugami that he will not share a room with him and lets Kabane sleep on the sofa. Akira then introduces himself, and Kabane told him he was a pretty girl, which made Akira cry and say he was a boy and then stormed off. Later, Shiki was sitting with Kabane and eating pizza. He told Kabane that he didn't like him and that he wouldn't be his friend, and Kabane accepted that. Shiki wondered why Kabane wasn't eating and told him to have some. When Kabane looked at the pizza, he commented that he had never seen one before, which shocked Shiki. Shiki then gave a piece of pizza to Kabane. Shiki watched as Kabane struggled with the cheese and laughed, but then he remembered that he didn't like Kabane and acted cold again. While lying in bed, Shiki keeps repeating that he hates Kabane to Akira. However, Akira tells him that it might be because Kabane is the first hybrid Shiki has encountered. Akira then starts to guess why Kabane must be there, as he likely may not have anywhere else to go, so Shiki should go and ask Inugami. Shiki gets annoyed and tells Akira to go ask instead. This causes Akira to become upset and go to sleep. With no other option, Shiki decides to go ask Inugami himself. Kabane is seen heading to the bathroom, where he trips and notices a thread. Shiki then asks him why he came there. At first, Kabane replies that it was a car, but then tells him that he was looking for his parents. Shiki tells him that they probably abandoned him, to which Kabane says no. Kabane then tries to stand up, but the thread is holding him back. Shiki warns him not to try as it won't come off, but Kabane forces it and frees himself. Shiki stops him and asks if it hurts. To Shiki's surprise, Kabane's leg heals instantly. Kabane then asks Shiki if he can use the bathroom now and leaves. The next day, the four of them head out for a job. On the way, Inugami tells the three to get along with each other during the work and also says it's a perfect way to show Kabane what kimonoists do. After arriving at the scene, the investigator tells them that there is a mother, a child, and a rescuer inside. Outside the room, they see two crying children who are likely siblings. The investigator asks Inugami to look through the door, and Inugami then asks the investigator how long it has been like that. The investigator responds that it has been 20 or 30 minutes. He then asks the three to look at the scene. As they look through the door, they see that the room is infested with bugs, which are feeding on the people inside. Akira screams and backs away from the door. Inugami explains that the bugs are called senchichu or three-corpse bugs. They are harmless insects that only take a small bite of your skin while you sleep, but they have a certain favorite food to eat. Once you take it away from them, they will stop swarming and go back to their nest. The investigator then asks Inugami if there is anything they can do. Inugami responds that he can eliminate them 100%. He then secretly transforms his body into steel and tells them that the people inside have a 50% chance of survival. The investigator then reminds them that the member of the rescue team who went in there was eaten by the bugs. The investigator insists on burning them to keep the civilian population safe. However, one of the children says that they are not dead and asks to help them. While everyone is panicking, Shiki volunteers to help. Shiki shoots threads of silk in the room and creates a spider web. Shiki then uses it to make the bugs stick to it. However, the bugs eat the web, causing it to collapse and move towards him. Kabane then volunteers to go in himself. Inugami gives his permission and says, "Give it a try." Then he instructs Kabane to remove the item that is at the center of the bugs. Kabane enters the room and immediately gets attacked by the bugs. However, as a ghoul, he doesn't feel any pain. While the bugs are attacking him, he notices that one of the people is holding the item. Inugami then tells Kabane to lift it. After lifting the item, the bugs were successfully removed from the people. After finishing the job, Akira says that the bugs they encountered were strange and asks what their favorite food is. Inugami replies that the senchichu bugs feed on feelings of guilt and tells Kabane that the shoes they retrieved might have been stolen. Suddenly, the young boy they had helped earlier runs up to them and thanks Kabane for saving his family. The boy then asks why the bugs appeared in their home, and Inugami advises him that as long as they don't do anything wrong, they should be fine. Inugami also tells the boy to return the shoes. The young boy is shocked and tells them that they live in a single-mother household. His mother always put her children first, and her shoes are worn out. She has worn shoes with holes in them for so long without buying a new pair. One day, his younger brother brought home a pair of shoes and said they had to give them to their mother. He knew at a glance that his brother had shoplifted them, so he yelled at his brother. Then, the younger brother's face quickly clouded over with guilt, and a moment later, bugs appeared on his body. Despite her fear of bugs, their mother covered her younger brother to protect him. Kabane becomes curious about family and asks Inugami if he worked for him, would he be able to meet his parents? Inugami then asks Kabane for the third time if he wants to meet his parents, since he lied the last time. Kabane responds with yes. Inugami then tells Kabane that he will take his fee out of Kabane's pay for finding his parents. After returning to the office, Shiki shares that his mom is an arachne, a spider Kemono. Kabane asks if she is still alive, to which Shiki replies that he doesn't know and she is probably not looking for him. However, Kabane says that maybe she is still alive. Shiki becomes annoyed and tells Kabane that if a parent gets separated from their child, they try to find them. However, since they didn't, they are either dead or abandoned them. Despite this, Kabane still believes that their parents didn't abandon them, and that they are still alive. But even if they were dead, they still need to find out who their parents were. Shiki then leaves and shyly says, "Come, I will show you where your room is." Inugami talks to someone over the phone and reports that he safely finished the job he was hired for. He also reports about Kabane and tells that he had a life stone on him. While lying in the hammock, Kabane wakes up and says that he can't sleep since it is so cushy. And that's the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of videos just like this, so I'll see you at the next one.